Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Conversations with Friends. And this is an adaptation of the Sally Rooney novel from the same writer of Normal People. And this story focuses on two Dublin college students, Frances and Bobbi, and their strange and unexpected connection they forge with the married couple, Melissa and Nick. And obviously, this show's going to get a lot of comparisons to Normal People. I did wind up liking Normal People more. I feel like this series at 12 episodes feels way too stretched out for what actually happens in the narrative. It definitely feels like it's spinning wheels at times and gets repetitive in terms of how it's portraying these relationships developing, progressing, and I feel like if this was trimmed down and had less of that excess baggage, that excess repetitive aspects of the narrative and the relationships developing, this would have hit a lot harder. But I do have to say the acting is incredible in this show. Alison Oliver, Sasha Lane, Joe Alwyn, Jemima Kirk, those four main leads in this series, which I guess really Oliver is our lead here, but everybody else has substantial screen time for the most part and play big parts in the story. They all do fantastic jobs. Oliver has a much more reserved approach to things. There's always a bubbling emotion underneath. Lane has a lot of charisma. Alwyn definitely has a vulnerability behind his eyes and everything, and Kirk definitely has a lot of charisma as well. Lenny Abrahamson does such a great job directing this series. It has such a tenderness to it. It has an authenticity to it. They feel real. These interactions, the atmosphere feels real. There's good tension. I think the relationship between Frances and Nick that starts developing, I'm invested, but I don't love them together. And I know as the series progresses, there's this tug-of-war between Frances and Bobbi. There's a lot of tension there, sexual tension as well, as previously had been in a relationship with each other in college, and now Frances having her first male relationship with Nick, and of course trying to keep it hidden from Melissa. There's a lot of complexities in Nick and Melissa's marriage, and I think that makes for a lot of interesting twists and turns in the story. I think the complexity of Frances and Bobbi's relationship is very interesting. Bobbi, though, as a character, I feel like is really frustrating because Bobbi has a lot of stances in this show that feel so outrageous, yet the show feels like it's trying to justify her stances on how Frances reacts to things and how she acts. But I do feel like by the end of this series, we really do realize that Frances has a lot of growing to do. And I loved the last episode, except maybe up until the last couple minutes. And I don't know how I fully feel about where this leaves Alison as a character, Alison Oliver's Frances as a character, but something about the last couple minutes just didn't really vibe with me. I feel like the journey that Frances goes on very personally with her health and her relationship with her parents, which are complicated, and obviously with Bobbi, which is very complicated, the situation with Nick, which is very complicated. There's a lot of complexities here. And this show can be hard to digest in terms of truly trying to figure out what you feel like should happen or not. But in the end, I do feel like this series delivers some great emotion, great performances, strong direction, and generally engaging narrative that might feel a little repetitive and a little stretched out, but still delivers the goods, and I do think this is a good follow-up adaptation to another Sally Rooney novel. But those are my thoughts on Conversations with Friends. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.